685 Educator Standards and Performance by Adam Nugent Rosenberger. Instructional Personnel Assessment System Submission Process. Each school district shall submit the Instructional Personnel Assessment System to the Division of Professional Educators of the Department for the approval of pursuant to Section 23129 Florida State Statutes. Each submission shall include the documentation to substantiate that the requirements and conditions for Instructional Personnel Assessment Systems pursuant to Section 231.29 Florida State Statutes have been met. The assessment system shall be reviewed by the Department for the inclusion of the following: 1. Assessment criteria that include a minimum indicators that relate to the areas of competency specified in Section 231.29.3a Florida State Statutes. A statement of district procedures reflecting methods of criteria used to designate, document, and differentiate unsatisfactory, satisfactory, and outstanding performance levels. Copies of assessment data collection procedures, instrument, and forms. A statement for the use of assessment data for the instructional personnel contract and decisions. 2. Initial review process. The Department of Education shall review and evaluate the performance of assessment systems for the compliance with the requirements conditions of Section 23129 Florida State Statutes, and shall prepare and send to each of the school districts a written notice identifying any school deficiencies of the system. Upon the request from a school district, the department shall provide assistance to the district for the purpose of bringing the system to the compliance as quickly as possible. Approval process. The Department of Education shall send written notification to the school district superintendent that status of the school district shall instructional personnel assessment systems status designate shall be as follows: approved. The instructional personnel assessment system shall be designated approved if requirements conditions for the instructional personnel assessment system pursuant to Section 23129 Florida State Statutes. Provisions of this rule are met. Conditionally approved instructional personnel assessment system shall be designated conditionally approved if the school district assessment system fails to satisfy one or more of the requirements conditions for the instructional personnel assessment system pursuant to Section 23129 Florida State Statutes. The provision of this rule, school district system designated conditionally approved, shall be revised so that it is fully compliant with the requirements conditions of our instruction personnel assessment system pursuant to Section 23129 Florida State Statutes. The provision of this rule with the time period specified in the department resubmitted to the department for review and approval. C. Disapproved. The school district system designated conditionally approved shall designate and disapprove the requirements condition of instructional personnel assessment systems pursuant to Section 23129 Florida State Statute. Provision of this rule are not met within the time period specified with the department of written notice granting the conditional approved status of the system. Modifications of the instructional personnel assessment system. The school board makes a substantive modifications to approved schools districts instructional personnel assessment systems. Modified systems shall be submitted to the Department of Education for review and approval of the pursuant to this rule. The Instructional Personnel Assessment System Rulemaking Authority 229.53, 231.29 Florida State Law implemented 230.23.5C, 231.29 Florida State Histories at June 19, 2001, and formally 6B4.010. Criteria for suspension or dismissal. Just because of the means of the cause of legally sufficiently each of the charges upon which just cause the dismissal action against against specified school personnel may be pursued as set forth in Section 1012-33, 1012-335 in Florida State statutes. In fulfillment with these laws, the basis of each of these such charges is hereby defined. Immorality means conduct inconsistent with the standards of public conscience, good, or morals. It is conducted with the brings of individual concern or education professions in the public disgrace or disrespect impairs the individual service in the community. 2. The misconduct of the office means one or more of the following: a violation of the Code of Ethics of the Education Professions in Florida as adopted by 6B 1.001 Florida Administrative Code, violation principle of professional conduct in educational profession in Florida as adopted by Rule 6B 1.006 Florida Administrative Code. A violation of the adopted school board rules, behavior that disrupts the student learning environment, or behavior that reduces the teacher's ability, his or her colleagues' ability to effectively perform the duties. Incompetency means of inability, failure, to lack of the fitness to discharge of the required duty as a result of the incapacity. Efficiency means one or more of the following: failure to perform the duties prescribed by law, failure to communicate appropriately with and relate the students, failure to communicate appropriately with relate to the colleagues, administrators, subordinate parents, disorganization of his or her classroom to such an extent that health or safety or welfare of the students is diminished, or excessive absences of tardiness. Incapacity means one of the more of the following: lack of emotional stability, lack of adequately physical ability, lack of general education background, lack of adequate command of his or her area of specialization. For the gross criteria for suspension or dismissal, gross insubordination means intentional refusal to obey a direct order, responsible in nature and given by the proper authority. Malfluency as to involve failure to performance as required duties. Willful neglect of duty means intentional reckless failure to carry out the required duties. Drunkenness applies to only the person who holds a contract issued before July 1st, 1984. It means that the condition exists whenever the individual publicly under the influence of alcohol, beverages, and drugs to such an extent that his or her normal facilities are impaired. B. The conviction of a charge related to drunkenness by a court of law. 7. The multiple criteria for suspension and dismissal. 7. Multiple annual performance ratings of unsatisfactory or needs improvement as specified in Section 1012-33-1A Florida State Statutes. Crimes involving moral turpitude means of offenses listed in 1012-315 Florida State Statutes following the crimes. Section 775.085 relating to evidence prejudice with committing offenses if classified as a felony. Section 82782.051 relating to attempted felony murder. 782.091 relating to killing of an unborn quickly child or by inquiry to the mother. Section 787.06 relating to human trafficking. 790 to 166 relating to weapons of mass destruction. 838.015 relating to bribery. 847.0135 relating to computer pornography or traveling to meet a minor. Section 859.01 relating to poisoning of food, water. 876.32 relating to treason. J. An out-of-state offense, federal offense, or offense in another nation which is committed in the state constitutes an offense prohibited by the Section 1012-315-6 Florida State Statutes. Rule-making authority for criteria and suspension and dismissal starts at 1001-2, 1012-33, 1012-335. Florida State laws implemented 1012-33, 1012-33-5. Florida State History News, December 25th, 1966, amended in September 8th, 1968, promulgated in December 5th, 1974, amended in August 12th, 1981, April 5th, 1983, formally 6B4.09 or 6B4009, amended on July 8th, 2012. The educator accomplished practices. First, proposal and foundational principles. Purpose. Purpose and the foundational principles. The purposes the educator accomplished practices are set forth in this rule as Florida's core standards as effective educators. The accomplishment practice of the foundation of the state of each teacher preparation programs, educator certification requirements, school district instructional personnel appraisal systems, foundational principles. The foundational principles. The accomplished practices are based on the further described three essential principles. 1. The effective educator creates a culture of high expectations for all students, promoting importance of the education in each student's capacity of achievement activity. 2. The effective educator demonstrates a deep and comprehensive knowledge in subject taught. 3. The effective educator exemplifies the standard of the profession. 2. The educator of the accomplished practices. Each effective educator applies the foundational principles through 6 educator accomplished practices. Each of the practices are clearly defined to promote the common language and statewide understanding of the expectations for the quality of instruction, professional responsibility. A. The quality of instruction, instructional design, lesson planning, and applying of the concept, the human development, learning theories, and effective educator consistency. A. Align instructions with the state adopted standards and the appropriate level or rigor. Sequence lessons to concepts to ensure the coherence required with the prior acknowledged. Design instruction for the student to achieve mastery. Select appropriate formative assessment to the monitoring learning. Use diagnostic students to data to the plan lessons. Develop learning experience that requires students to demonstrate a variety of applicable skills and competencies. To the learning environment, to maintain a student-centered learning environment that is safe, organized, equitable, flexible, inclusive, collaborative, and the effective educator consistently. Organized, allocates, manages the resource, the time, space, attention, manages individual class behavior through the well-planned management system, conveys the high expectation to all students, respects students' cultural, linguistics, family background, models clearance, acceptable or oral written communication skills, maintain a climate of openness, inquiry, fairness, support, integrates current information communication technologies, adapts learning environment to accommodate the different needs and diversity of the students. Utilize the current emerging assistive technologies that enable the students to participate in high quality communication interactions, achieve educational goals. The third thing is the instructive delivery and facilitation of the effective educator consistently with the utilize of a deep, comprehensive knowledge of the subject taught. Deliver engaging, challenging lessons. Deep enriching students' understanding through the content area, literacy, strategies, verbalization, thought, and application of subject matter. C. The identifying gaps of the student subject matter knowledge modifies the instruction to respond with the preconceptions and misconceptions. Relate to integrate the subject matter with the discipline and life experience. F. The employer high order question techniques. G. The applied varied instructional strategies and resources, including appropriate technology to provide comprehensive instruction to teach the students' understanding. H. Differentiate instruction based on the assessment of the student learning and needs and recognition of the individual difference in the student. Support, encourage, and provide immediate specific feedback of the students, promote student achievement. J. Utilize student feedback to monitor instructions needed to adjust instruction. For the assessment, the effective educator consistently analyzes the applies the multiple assessments and measures to diagnose the student's learning needs and informs instructions based on those needs, drives the learning process. B. Designs aligns and formative summative assessment that match the learning objectives that lead to mastery. C. The use of variety assessment tools to monitor students' progress, achievement, and learning gains. Modifies assessment testing conditions that accommodate learning styles and varying levels of knowledge. Shares the importance of outcomes of students' assessment to the student and student parent or caregiver. Applies the technology to organize, integrate assessment information. B. Continuous improvement, responsibility, ethics, continuous professional improvement. The effective educator consistently designed powerful professional goals to strengthen the effectiveness of instruction based on students' need. B. Examines use of data-informed research to improve instructions and student achievement. Uses a variety of independently collaboration with the colleagues to evaluate learning outcomes. Adjusting planning continuously improve the effectiveness of the lesson. Collaborates with the home and school large communities to foster communication to support student learning and continuous improvements. E. Engages a targeted professional group with opportunities and reflect practices, implements knowledge, learn professional development and teaching and learning processes. 2. Professional responsibility of ethical conduct. Understanding educators are held to the higher moral standards. Community effective educator adheres to the code of ethics, principles, and professional conduct of educational professionals of Florida pursuant to 6B 1.011 or 6B 1006 Florida Administrative Codes. Fulfills the expected obligations as a student to the public and the educational provisions. The rulemaking authority is 1004-04, 1004-85, 1012-225, 1012-340, 34, 1012-56, Florida State Law implemented in 1004-04, 1004-085, 1012-225, 1012-34, and 1012-56. Florida State History News is at the July 2nd, 1998, and amended on February 13th, 2011. Approval of education and preparation programs. The Florida Legislative State Board of Education recognizes multiple pathways of demonstrating the standards required to qualify for the professional Florida Educator Certificate. The rule sets for the requirements and implement the approval process for each type of the educator preparation program offered by the Florida Post-Secondary Institution Public School District. Each institution offering a program prescribed in the section shall report for the department annually the number of participants enrolled in each program, the number of programs completed. Initial teacher preparation programs. 2. General criteria. The Department of Education authorized by pursuant Section 1004 of the Florida State Statutes improve the initial and teacher and preparation programs to the grant extensions of approvals in accordance with the provisions of the rule. Initial teacher preparation programs include all programs that prepare instructional personnel result in qualification. Initial professional Florida educator certificate in program areas. Each approval or extension shall be for the period determined by the Department of Education shall not exceed 7 years. An institution eligible to offer more approved program shall be the Florida public and non-public institution requested to approve the initial educator preparation program has legal authority to grant the appropriate baccalaureate or post-baccalaureate degrees for the area. The certification Chapter 6A4 Florida Administrative Codes meets the accreditation requirements as prescribed in Section 6A40031 Florida Administrative Codes. A newly created institution that meets the approval requirements described in 6A4003 Florida Administrative Codes shall be considered in having meeting the accreditation requirements. 2. Each institution shall designate to a college or school department of division responsibility for coordinating the plan administrating of all initial teachers preparation of program offered to the institution shall provide the endorsement transcripts for the candidates who complete the program shall be responsible for the travel, food, lodging expenses for the members of the site of the visiting evaluation team as necessary. Uniform core curriculum. Uniform core curriculum is established pursuant to Section 1004 Florida State Standards, Florida statutes, which must provide by each of the institution approved programs shall include the competency continued by the Florida educator accomplished by the practice professional level with prescribed 6A5065 and Florida Administrative Codes competent skilled teacher certification as prescribed in 6A40021 Florida Administrative Code, specifically based on reading instructional methods appropriate to the candidate subject areas as follows. Candidates in pre-kindergarten to primary elementary and exceptional student education shall be prepared in the reading competency 1 through 5 of the State Board approved rating endorsement. Candidates in middle grade, secondary, and K through 12 special area certification shall be prepared to the state approved competency 1 or 2 of the State Board approved reading endorsements. For the additional content of the instructional practices listed in the Section 1004 and 5 Florida State Statutes initial state program approval, each institution seeking initial approval in the initial teacher preparation program shall submit a request in writing from the Chief Executive Officer Commissioner specifying the certification areas or levels for the approval and sought for the providing evidence of the following. The institution has adopted program philosophy objectives with directly responded to the needs of the assessed projected to the educators both institutional local services areas and state as a whole. The institution has established a comprehensive program that meets the following requirement. Admits only the candidates who meet the admission requirements described in Section 1004 of the Florida State Statutes. Candidates in graduate level programs may demonstrate the mastery to general knowledge for admission proposals, preparation, composite, quantitative, verbal score of 1,000 or on the graduate record exam, or which is the GRE. The provides instructional assessment. Each of its candidate performance is demonstrating the competence of a uniform core curriculum described in paragraph 1B of this rule, so the candidates will be prepared to teach the student with diverse cultures, verifying exceptional performance levels. Variety of settings include high need schools, and the program description must include which of the courses the uniform core curriculum competency will be taught and assessed. C. Prepares all candidates to continually assess the student's progress in a variety of ways to base the instructional practice on the analysis of the student data. Provides a field of experience within K-12 through classrooms and setting as prescribed in 1004 Florida State Statutes throughout the program, including culminating experience of not less than 10 weeks in duration. And endorse the program completers and only candidates demonstrate educator accomplished practices as professional level for the required field experience, passing scores all portions of the Florida Teacher Certification Exam required in Section 1012-56 Florida State Statutes. 3. The institution has employed the faculty to meet the requirements of Section 1004-06, 1004-06 Florida State Statutes document more than one instance on-site participation in one or more K through 12 school settings during the regular school year. Activities must be related to the preparation of the course that they meet. They teach institutions have the meaning collecting performance data of the admitted candidates program completers as prescribed in Section 1004 and 5. The institution has developed a plan to providing additional support remediation of the program completers in their first 2 years of the teaching pursuant to Section 1004-05. The Florida State Statutes. Such plan must meet the primary base of the achievement data of the student that is program completer teaches. The individual plan must provide the program completer needed. The recommended remediation must include the instruction mentoring at a school site, whether the completer is employed and shall not include the same course already completed with the teacher as which she or he was a candidate in the program. 6. Institution publishes the document that describes qualitative and quantitative requirements for the education preparation program completion, including the means of course through the Uniform Core Curriculum competencies are assessed. Based on the recommendations of the review team, the Commissioner notified the institution in writing with approval, deny the approval for each of the initial educator of the program, includes the request of denial of approval shall admit the identification of specific areas of the program weakness that meets the corrected prior to the reconsideration of the approval for the programs receiving initial approval. The institution shall be appraised of the requirements for continued approval. Approval of educator preparation program. D. The continued program approval. 1. The continued approval from each initial educator preparation program shall be based on the department review of the institution's institutional program evaluation plan. The IPEP, which is the institutional description of the continuous improvement of the program throughout the approval period, is described in Section 104045 for state statutes. The institution's institutional program evaluation plan shall be based upon annual internal analysis collected by the data published annually the general public. The institution's institutional program evaluation plan shall include the minimum data for each year of the program and approval of the period collected by the teacher education for the candidates each approved the program across for all programs approved at the institution. The institutional program evaluation plan data must be included but not limited to the candidate submission of the FTCE pass rate data required in Section 1004 Florida State Statutes. Candidates demonstrate the teaching competency including the Uniform Core Curriculum described in 1B of this rule. Additional performance indicators specified in 1004 Florida State Statutes. See the program completers impact the student learning and the satisfaction with the prepared of the first year of teaching the Florida school based on the completing of the approved program. The satisfaction level of the employers of the program completers with the level of preparedness for the first year of teaching, including the rehire rates of the program completers. Approved educator preparation programs. 2. During the final year of the program approval of the period, the department shall examine the results of the institution annual review for each of the year of the approved period of the findings of the institutional site visit teams, and the department shall commend to the Commissioner continued approval of the denial of approval for initial educator preparation program. The institution shall notify in writing the continued approved decision of denial of approval shall identify the specific area of the program weakness, the relationship of the initial educator preparation program approval, and educator certification. Programs may be approved only in areas of levels in which the state certification coverage and endorsement are available. Requirements of all the and activities approved in the initial teacher preparation program may signify from the description contained in 6A4 Florida Administrative Codes. The candidate who completes an approved initial teach program shall be eligible for the appropriate educator certification of the type of the coverage for which the program has been approved, provided the candidate meets the other requirements of educator certification as specified in 1012-56 Florida State Statutes and 6A4 of the Florida Administrative Codes. 4. A candidate is a graduate level program who holds a Florida Educator Professional Certificate at time of graduation, satisfying the test of the requirements of the program completion, earning the passing score only as subject area examination required in Section 1012-56 of Florida State Statute. Candidate who completes an approved program only in the endorsement of much to demonstrate the competency required for the specialization and endorsement reinstatements of the program approval. The approval of the program reinstated the department at the request of the Chief Executive Officer of the institution upon the documentation compliance with the requirements of the initial approval educator preparation program as provided by the rule. Professional preparation program general criteria. Professional preparation programs are programs offered by the Florida post-secondary institution of public school districts through the candidate documentation mastery professional preparation educational competency as provided by the Section 1012-56-5 Florida State Statute. School district alternative certification education competency programs. When the competency-based state may model alternative certification program approved by the district competency-based alternative certification developed in Section 1012-56-7 Florida State Statute shall require the documentation following each of the program completer with the prior existing of the program competency contained with the educator accomplished practices at the pre-professional level described in 6A Step 5065. State approved competency of 2. The state board approved the reading endorsements 2. See the additional instructional practices prescribed in Section 1012-56-7. The Florida State Statute the competency and skill teacher certification professional preparation is described in 6A4003 Florida Administration Codes as evidence of a passing score of professional educator test of the FTCE. 2. Verification of candidate's successful completion of the district-approved alternative certification education competency shall be submitted with the department description superintendent competency listed in subparagraphs 2B, 1A, and through C of this rule must be demonstrated as the K through 12 classroom teacher while holding on the valid temporary educator certificate. Initial district developed program approval. Initial program approval for the program developed by and submitted with approval of the school district of their own model alternative certification shall be conducted with the Department of Education shall ensure that each of the approval program and provides assessment system and instructional support for the teachers to demonstrate the competency outlined in section includes all program components prescribed in section 1012-56 Florida State statutes. Continued program review. The department shall provide periodic review of all district programs offered by the pursuant of the section. The review cycle shall be based on a minimum of the following: the program completed data, including the pass rates of the professional educator test of the FTCE. If evidence of participation demonstrated that educator accomplished practices, participation, satisfaction, training, support received in the program, including preparedness to teach upon the completion program, completers impact the K-12 student learning, employer satisfaction data on participation, ability to demonstrate the educators accomplished practices, rehire rates of the program, participation, completers program, developed programs delivered through the Educational Preparation Institute. 1. The competency-based alternative certification programs developed and delivered in the Educational Preparation Institute pursuant to Section 1004-85 Florida State statute shall require documentation of the following: each of the program completed prior to the existing of the program. Competency based on the educator accomplished practices in section at the pre-professional level described in 6A5065 Florida Administrative Code. State approved competency of 2. The state board approved reading and endorsement. C. The additional instruction prescribed in section 1004-85-3 in the Florida State statutes. The competency skill of the teacher certification professional preparation described in 6A4003 Florida Administrative Codes as evidenced by the passing score of the professional education test of the FTCE. 2. The verification of candidates' successful completion of the program submitted by the department approved of the institution competency listed by the subparagraphs 2C, 1A, and through C, and the rules approved by the demonstrated by the K through 12 classroom setting, either the pre-service or the field experience or a K through 12 classroom teacher while holding the valid temporary educator certificate. Initial program approval shall be conducted by the department and shall ensure that each of the approved program provides an assessment system and instructional support candidates to demonstrate the competency outlined in the section. Institutional must meet the institutional facility requirements listed in section 1004-85 Florida State statutes. Continued program approval. Continued with the program approval shall determine the department based upon the minimum of the following: program completers to include the pass rates of the Florida teacher certification exam. If evidence of participation demonstrated that educator accomplished practices, participation, satisfaction, training, support is received the program, including the preparedness to teach upon completion. Program completers impact on the K-12 students learning. Employer satisfaction data participation ability to demonstrate the educator accomplished practices, rehire rates of the program, participation and completers. Professional training option for the content majors. A post-secondary institution which approved the initial teacher of the preparation program pursuant to subsection 1 of this rule and of the professional training option for the content major attending institution satisfaction will satisfy the professional preparation of the coursework pursuant to section 6A40062 Florida Administrative Codes. Institute may choose the option of minor based upon established institutional protocol. The institution must provide an endorsement transcript for each of the individual who completes the professional training option. Upon completion of the professional training option, the candidate will have received the professional level of training for the educator accomplished practices, competency to the reading endorsement, have completed an integrated school-based observation participation experience associated with the competency covered in the professional training option, and the satisfying professional preparation coursework is described in subsection 6A40062 for the Administrative Code. The department shall approve the professional training option. To receive the approval for the requesting institution must provide the evidence of serious course of the accomplished of the required training of the field experience with the subparagraphs 3B, 1, and 2 of this rule. Upon the receiving of the approval, an institution will not be required to resubmit the professional training option for the approval unless the competency in subparagraph 4B, 1 of the rules are changed. The rulemaking authority is 1004-04, 1004-85, 1012-56 Florida State laws implemented in 1004-04 and 1004-085, 1012-56 in Florida State History News at July 2nd, 1998, and August 7th, 2000, and March 19th, 2006. Okay, 685071 Master in Service Plan requirements pursuant to Section 1012-22 1I and 1012-62 Florida State Statute. Each district school board shall develop and maintain a master in-service plan for all district employees based on the state adopted standards for the high-quality professional development as required for the Section 1012-98 Florida State Statute standards contained with the publication Florida Professional Development System Evaluation Protocol 2010, which are hereby incorporated the reference made in part of the rule copy of the Florida Professional Development System Evaluation Protocol 2010 may be obtained by the contacting of the Florida Department of Education, 325 West Caney Street, room 126, Florida, Tallahassee, Florida, 32399 for the website www.teachinflorida.com, professional development, / professional development. The master and service plan shall be planned, developed, and administered consistent with the Section 1012-98, 1012-98, 6, and Florida State Statute 684 and 685, Florida Administrative Code, State Board of Education. The master and service plan shall be updated annually by the September 1st approved each of the year. The district school board director of the development research school governing the authority eligible state of the education agency organization non-public pursuant to the criteria procedures follows in subsection 3 through 7 of this rule on October 1st of each year. A letter verifying the district school board director of the development research school governing authority eligible state education agency organization non-public has been approved for the master and service plans for the plans meeting the criteria pursuant to the rules that shall be sent to the commissioner. The plan shall include the professional development components of all employees for all funded resources, including not limited to the following areas: implementation of the school improvement plans for the current fiscal year pursuant to Section 1012-98 Florida State Statute, subject content as prescribed in Section 1012-98 Florida State Statute, school reform and accountability pursuant to Section 1003, 1008, 345 Florida State Statute, approved and on certification programs pursuant to Section 1012-575 Florida State Statute, William Cecil Golden Professional Development Program for school leaders pursuant to Section 1012-986 Florida State Statutes. Each component shall remain in the plan for the period of at least 5 years. This shall include the title, the identifying number assigned with accordance to the Department of Education Information Database Requirements Volume 2 Status to Information System as incorporated with the reference of 6A10014 Florida Administrative Codes in accordance with Section 1008, 385-2, the maximum number of in-service points to be awarded for the successful completion of the component. D, the description of general specific objective activities to be completed, component evaluation criteria determination. Follow-up activities required a successful participation, completion, the degree in which specific objectives have addressed the component of the activities determined by the specific participation component leaders, the effective professional development educational setting consistent with the Section 1012-98 Florida State Statutes. A component developed after the annual approval of the school plan shall be approved with the amendment to the plan of the district school board of director of development research and school governing authority and eligible state education agencies, organization, non-public in school, and shall meet the criteria in subsection 4. The in-service points awarded for the successful completion of the component shall be assigned as follows. One in-service point shall be equivalent to 1 clock hour of participation specified as a master in-service point and based on competency demonstrated. The points awarded for the completion of the college credit shall equate the in-service participation as follows. 1 semester hour shall equal 20 in-service points. 1 quarter hour shall equal 13 in-service points. The annual review of the previous year program's operation shall be made and included determination of the program effective for the educational setting in the prescribed educational setting as measured in the changes in classroom leadership practices, changes in the student's outcome. A master and service plan records and it shall be maintained and data shall be reported as follows. Each school district shall report data information of all for all approved professional development components as required of the Department of Education Information Database Requirements Volume 2 Staff Information System in accordance with Section 1008-385-2 the Florida State Statute. Other educational agencies, organization of non-public schools approved for the master service and service without the Department of Education automatic data reporting capability shall report the October 1st of each of the year required in-service component data information, not an automated equivalent means. Okay, B, information shall be maintained for each of the component to include the following dates of the component was delivered, name of the component leaders, name of the participation, performance records, evaluation of the component, the criteria for the successful completion. Information shall be maintained for each of the component participation, including the following title, name of the component, dates of the participation, satisfactory, unsatisfactory completion, number of the in-service points to be awarded, eligible points to be used, the certification, expiration date of the educator's certificate is applicable. All requirements to renew for a renewal professional certificate of the basis of completion in service points pursuant to Section 1012, 585, Florida State Statute 6A 4000 Florida Administrative Code shall be met. 9 of the Master and Service Plan requirements. 9. A development research school operated under the control of the state university system, eligible state education agency or agency of a non-public school have the criteria specified in Section 1012-98-4 may be developed and submit a Master and Service Plan for the development of the initial improved by the Commissioner. The initial plan shall be developed in meeting all criteria subsection 3 through 7 of this rule. The initial approval of the plan continued with the approval of the Master Plan shall be in accordance with the criteria procedure subsection in 2 through 7 of the rule. Requirements of the reporting data the maintenance is required for subsection 8 of this rule. Rulemaking Authority 1012-98 Florida State laws implemented in 1012-22-1I and 1012-986, 1012-98, 1011-62-3, 1010-20, 3B. Florida State History News of November 25th, 1975, Form 6A572, amended on the April 10th, 1979, and June 28, 1983, July 15, 1984, December 26, 1985, and formally 6A571 amended and August 28, 1995, and July 2nd, 1998, and May 2nd, 2010. Florida Principal Leadership. A purpose of the structure of the standards. Purpose of the standards are set forth in the rules as Florida's core expectation of effective school administrative. The standards are based on a contemporary research, multidimensional school leadership represents skill set and knowledge bases and needed effective schools. The standards from the foundation of the school leader, professional evaluation, professional development professional development system, school leadership preparation programs, educator certification requirements. A structure of the top 10 the 10 standards grouped into categories with considered domains of effective leadership. Each standard has a title, includes the necessary descriptors for the further clarifying, defining the standards so that the standards may be developed further in leadership curricular professional assessment of the fulfillment of their purposes. The Florida Principal Leadership Standardship 1, the domain of student achievement. Standard 1, student learning results. Effective school leader achievement is school leaders achieving the result of the school student learning goals. School learning goals are based on the state adopted by the student academic standards and district adopted by the curricula. B, the student learning results evidence of the student performance growth of the state assessment district determined assessment that are implemented in the district under Section 1008-22, the international assessments and the other indicators of student success adopted by the district and state. 2, the standard 2, the student learning as a priority. Effective school learning demonstrates the student learning as the top priority for through leadership actions to build up support of the learning organization focused on the student's success. Leader enables the faculty staff to work as a system focused on the student learning, maintains a school climate that supports the student engagement of the learning, generates a high expectation of the learning growth by all students, and D, engages faculty and staff in efforts of close learning performance gaps amount of the student subgroups and within the school. 2, the domain instructional leadership. Standard 3, the instructional plan improvement. Instructional plan implementation. Effective school leaders work collaborative to develop and implement an instructional framework that aligns with the curriculum and with standards, state standards effective with the instructional practice, student learning needs, assessment, and the leaders. Implementations of Florida Educator Accomplished Practices are described in 6A5065 Florida Administrative Code. The common language in the instruction engages data analysis for the instructional planning, and the improvement communicates as the relationship among the academic standards, effective instruction, and student performance. Implements the district adopted curricula, state adapted academic standards in the manner rigorous and culturally relevant to the student in school, and ensures the appropriate use of the high quality formative interim assessment aligned with the adoptive standards and curricula. Standard 4, the faculty development. Effective school leaders recruit and retain and development effective diverse and faculty and staff. The leader generates a focus of student professional learning of the school and is clearly linked to the system-wide strategic objectives school implemented plan, evaluates, monitors, and provides timely feedback to the faculty, effectively instruction employs the faculty instruction proficiency need of the school population served, identifies faculty instructional proficiency needs, including standards based on consistent base content, research-based pedagogy, Data analysis for the instructional planning to improvement the use of the instructional technology. Implementation professional learning enables faculty to deliver cultural relevant and differentiated instruction, provides resources, time, engaged faculty, and effective individual collaborative professional learning through the school year. Standard 5, learning environment. The effective school leader structures and monitoring school learning environment that improves learning of all Florida diverse student populations. The leader maintains a safe, respectful, inclusive, student-centered learning environment and that is focused equitability, opportunities, learning and building a foundation of fulfilling life of democratic society and global economy, recognizes the and uses diversity as an assessment, development, and implementation procedures practices that motivate all students and improve the student learning, promotes school classroom that validate the value of similarities, differences among students, provide recurring monitoring feedback of the quality of learning environment, initiates the support continuous improvement process, focus on the student opportunities for the successful and being, and engage the faculty, recognized understanding the cultural development issued by the student learning and identifying the addressing strategies to minimize and eliminate achievement gaps. Domain 3, organizational leadership, decision-making. Effective school leaders employing the monitoring decision-making process that is based on vision, mission, and improvement of the priorities of using facts and data. The leader given the priority attention to the decision of the impact, quality, learning, and the teacher proficiency using critical problem-solving techniques to divine problems, identifying solutions, evaluates decisions or effectiveness, equity, intended actual outcome, and implements following up actions and revise as needed, empowers others and distributes leaders when appropriate. It uses effective technology integration to enhance decision-making efficiency throughout the school. Standard 7, leadership development. Effective school leaders accurately cultivate and support and develop other leaders within the organization of the leader. Identifies the cultivates potential emerging leaders, provides evidence of delegation, trust, and subordinate leaders. Plans the succession management in the key position, promotes the teacher leadership functions focused on the instructional proficiency and student learning. Develops a substantial supportive relationship between the school leaders, parents, community, higher education, and business leaders. Standard 8, the school management. Effective school leaders manage the organization, operation, facilities in the way that maximize the use of the resources to promote safe, sufficient, legal, effective learning environment. The leader 8 organizes tasks, projects effectively with clear, objective, coherent plans, establishes appropriate deadlines to his or herself and entire the organization, manages schedules, delegates, and allocates resources, promotes colleague efforts to school improvement of faculty development. It is officially responsible maximum the impact of official resources and instructional priorities. Standard 9, communication. Effective school leaders participate in two-way communications using appropriate oral, written, and electronic communication collaboration skills to accomplish school system goals and by building and maintaining relationship with the students, faculty, parents, and community and the leader. Actively listen to learn and from the students, staff, parents, and community stakeholders. B, recognize individuals for effective performance. E, communicates students' expectation, performance information to students, parents, and community. D, maintains a high visibility of as school and community. Regularly engages stakeholders in work of the school. Creates opportunities for the school to engage students, faculty, parents, and community stakeholders in constructive conversation about important school issues. F, utilizes appropriate technology, communication, collaboration, ensures faculty receives timely information about the student learning and requirements, academic standards, and all other state, federal, administrative requirements and decisions. Domain 4, professional ethical behaviors. Standard 10, professional ethical behaviors. Ethical school leaders demonstrate the personal and professional behaviors consistent with the quality procedures in the education and as a community leader. The leader adheres to the code of ethics principles of professional conduct of the education professions in Florida pursuant to 6B1001 and 6B1006 Florida Administrative Codes. Demonstrated resiliency, staying focused on the school vision, reacting constructively to the barriers to success that include the disagreement and dissent within the leadership. Demonstrates the commitment to successful of all students, identifying barriers and impact of the well-being of school families and local community. Engages professional learning and improves the professional practice alignment with the needs of the school system. Demonstrates willingness to admit the error, learn from it, and demonstrate explicit improvements of specific performance as are based on the previous evaluation formatted feedback. The rulemaking authority is 1001, 02, 1012, 34, 1012, 55, 1, 1012, 986, 3. Florida State law implemented 1012, 55, 1012, 986, 1012, 34. Florida State History News as in May 24, 2005, formerly 6B 50012 and amended in December 20th, 2011. That is 6'5", I believe, guys. 6'5".